Hi there, it's Anne of Rosie Duck Designs here. Thank you ever so much for joining me today. I'm using the Sweet Strawberry stamp set and the coordinating punch for today's project. I'm just going to make a really simple, fun card. I have to say I was really pleased that this carried over from the mini catalogue into the new annual catalogue, so I get to play with it for another year, and particularly this time of year it seems such an apt stamp set. So I'm going to put that to one side just for a moment. My card is basic white and cut at my normal size of 6x8, scored at 4 on the long side, and I'm going to use the card in the portrait style, or make the card in the portrait style. I will, as usual, put an accompanying blog post with the YouTube video so that you can check out the metric measurements and all the products that I've actually used. I will put on that blog post, so as soon as I've written it I will add it to the front of the video. So that's my card ready. I'm going to stamp directly onto the centre of the card, so I'm going to do that first because as we all know, things go wrong. So I don't want to do the front of it and then mess up the inside of it. This way there's always a way around it. I can either start again, or I can do something, I can stamp and put something over the top of it. But I just thought it prudent to start with the bit that I can mess up the most. So I'm using the Real Red ink, and I'm using the Thank You stamp from the stamp set, and I'm just going to go somewhere in the centre of the card. Breathe a sigh of relief. So while we're in the middle of the card, I might as well just finish that off, and I'm going to add a strip of the Designer Series paper. Now this paper comes from the Simply Elegant Designer Series paper. I'm not going to go into massive great details about the paper this time because I want to feature it more fully when we actually use the stamp set and the punch that goes with it. But this is the piece of paper that I'm using, and on the back you can see, I hope you can see, there's some lovely foil detail. And just to whet your appetite, this is another piece from the same Designer Series paper, which I just love. This foiling is absolutely beautiful, but I love the fact that there's more muted tones on the back, so it's this one that I'm going to use. Put that aside for another day. So I've cut a little strip at 1/2 inch by 4.5, and I'm just going to stick that onto the bottom of the card there with my stamp and seal. I'm going to go right to the edge because we're going to be chopping some of that off. So taking that right into the centre. As I've said before, if you cut it too long, then by simply turning it over you can trim it exactly to size. It just takes into account if some of your measurements are just slightly out, and sometimes that tiny fraction can just suddenly look like a big gaping hole. So that's the inside. I haven't quite finished the inside, but we need to do something about some strawberries first. So on the front I've got another piece of the same paper, and I've cut that at 2 by 6, and I'm literally going to fill up half of the card. Now I've taken the pattern and I've taken it on a vertical angle of the pattern, but it would work horizontally if you wanted to. So I'm going to put some stamp and seal on there to go right up to the edges with this, because it's going to go onto the edge of the card. quite warm today. I'm clearly sticking to the card. So I'm going to go that way round. So I've got more white here. So what I want to do is make sure that I'm getting that into the very crease of the card, but that I'm matching up both ends of it. If you've got anything showing on either end, you can at that point just trim off the tiny bits of excess. Now, the inspiration from this card is not totally my own. I got the idea from one of the cards that's in the catalogue, and that's a great thing with the catalogue. There's so many different ideas and designs that you can share or to make your ideas from, and sort of just step them up, give them your own twist. So one of the cards on that particular page, it's page 43 where you'll find the stamp set, I just thought that's really pretty, so I've just done a very similar thing, but sort of just made it my own, as they say. So my sentiment for the front is going to be, "That was so sweet of you," which again is from the stamp set, and I've stamped that with real red ink onto some basic white card, and then I've cut that out using the Stitch So Sweetly dies. These are my replacement for my layering ovals that I'm still missing, if I'm honest. So I've used that size, so not the smallest but the next one up, and then this size, just so that I've got a layered effect for my sentiment. So that's already stamped and cut out, and I went with black as the background here so that I could pick out the black from the designer series paper, and then obviously the red is going to pick out the colour of the strawberry. So let's stick that together. These are a very nice set of dies. As I say, I'm still missing my ovals, but I do like that you've got some oblongs, but you've also got this sort of quite quirky little shape here as well. So very nice set of dies, and I'm going to go with that about there, but we'll leave that until we've actually done the strawberries. I've made most of my strawberries, but I thought I would do at least one on camera so you can see how I've made them. I thought for one moment I hadn't bought the card in, but I have. So on here it's a two-step stamp set, so you've got the basic strawberry shape here, and then you've got this one that adds the detail. Got the same thing going on with the leaves and the flowers here. So we're going to use the strawberry one, and if you notice, the stamp is designed to sort of not give you a solid stamp, but to give you some shading. So when you first use it and you put it down on your card and you think this seriously is not right, it is, it's meant to be like that. It was a little bit too shaded for my taste, so I just got the Wink of Stella out, and that kind of worked for me, but that won't surprise you, will it? I mean, you know, Wink of Stella and me, it's a no-brainer, isn't it? It happens all the time. So when you've got your piece of card, what you want to do is stamp your strawberry onto an edge, and the reason I'm saying that is because it just makes it so much easier when you're putting it through the punch. I'm actually going to make 2, so I don't want 2 because I've already made some in advance. So now I'm getting the stamp that's got the extra detail on it. Now you could use your stamparatus to just line this up properly. It's not a bad stamp to just do, it's going to be famous last words this, isn't it? But it's not a bad stamp to actually eyeball. And it's certainly a lot easier to eyeball it when you're not trying to avoid the camera and hit that. But I'm hoping this is giving you an idea. If you were doing this without a camera over your head, just get yourself right over it so that you can just see exactly where the lines from this stamp are in relation to your stamp underneath. There we go. Put that away before I have any accidents with it. Now you could shade this a little bit with a blend if you wanted to, or even a blender pen would just blend it in a little bit more. If this is a little bit too shaded, or giving that a shaded effect, if it's a bit too much, which for me it is, it's just I need it to be a little bit more even. But the Wink of Stella is brilliant because it just adds that other level to your design. So all I'm doing is just going over it with the Wink of Stella. Now it's not gone completely along the top edge, so you can, if you wish, just pick up a little bit of Wink of Stella, of ink with the Wink of Stella, just put that around the top edge of the strawberry and just work that in. It's achieving 2 things. It's just blending your colour a little bit better, but it's also making it very shiny. And yeah, I know strawberries aren't normally shiny, but in my world they should be. In my world, strawberries on a card need to have Wink of Stella on. So I've just shaded that in. Now you might feel that you've lost some of your detail, and you can go back and put that in using a stamping blend. Now I've got the dark real red, and I'm going with the fine nib end. I'm just going to go over that little bit of detail of the I don't even know what they're called, but the little pips almost, aren't they, that you get on the skin of a strawberry. It's probably a technical name for them, but it won't surprise you to know that I don't know that. So there we go, that's our 2 strawberries. Taking the punch, if I'd have thought about this before, I would have suggested that you actually put it this way around, because this is the way punch is. So go along the edge of your card, and what you don't want to do is have anything cut out, anything that you've already stamped. So just cut it so that you've got enough to feed it into the punch, and don't put anything near it that is going to get damaged. So I've just lined that up, and I'm just squeezing that together to make sure that I'm happy with it, which I am. And then I can move on to my next strawberry. Just getting caught with that little bit. again. I'm just lining that up. I've got two strawberries. Now with the leaves for the strawberries, it's these two elements. Now you could stamp that onto some white card and then add this one on top for a bit of extra detail. Personally, that sounded a bit too much like hard work, so I've got myself a piece of the granny green apple card, and I've got a little strip of the adhesive sheets, and I'm going to just stick that on the back. Stick that on the back there. And then I'm going to take the detail leaf, so this one, and I'm going to stamp that in garden green. Quite a good combination of the two greens. Try and know where my adhesive sheet is. Stamp two of those out. Now going back to my punch, so before you start stamping, which is not what I've done here, just try and think about where the element is you're trying to punch out on the actual punch, and then put that on your card accordingly. Just makes it easier. You don't have to come back and cut it out again to just get enough card to put it in the punch, if that makes any sense. So I'm just lining that up. So this action of just squeezing it together just allows you to just make sure you're happy before you actually punch out your image. This little bit here is catching, so I'm just going to chop that bit off. It's better, that makes life easier. Just say it's a well hand workout. It's a bigger pieces of card do make more sense, but I never do make things easy, do I? Let's be honest. There we go. It's slightly harder because you're punching through the additional adhesive sheet, but it's well worth the pain. You know, the saying no pain no gain. It's definitely worth that because the adhesive sheets make it so much easier to attach to your strawberry. So now you're just peeling off the back here. And again, be patient with it. It's like double-sided tape. You've just got to get your nail under it to just start lifting it, and then there's no problem whatsoever. Now I'm just going to put it on the top of the strawberry, and now suddenly, I'm just going to fill that bit in. So suddenly, from almost like a strange looking red piece of cut out card, it suddenly takes on that whole new look of it being a strawberry. Again, I'm doing the same with this one. This is why I did them in advance, because I just thought, you imagine I'm going to sit here and make several strawberries. It's got this right on the edge where I've got two pieces of my adhesive sheet. There we go. So that's our strawberries, and that's how easy they are to put together. So going back to the card, seems a long time ago, doesn't it? I'm going to just put the strawberry on the front, so I'm going to go with that one sort of like that. Then I want my sentiment. I'm going to take that more over to that side. Then I have another strawberry there, and another strawberry about there. A lot of white on that one where I've punched it out, so I'll go with that one. There we go. So this is where I want my sentiment. So again, with my stamp and seal. Now quite often I will raise sentiments up with stamping dimensionals, but because I want the strawberry to in effect be the star of the show, I'm actually going to put this down straight onto the card. So now I want some stamping dimensionals. 2 will be enough on each strawberry. Taking the backs of those off, put that at a slight angle. And there we have a strawberry card. Now I'm going to be giving this to my friends to say thank you. So I'm going to put, to decorate the envelope, I'm going to add a couple of strawberries onto the front of the envelope. I wouldn't suggest that you do that if you're going to actually send it in the post. I think the strawberries might not survive, but if you're actually going to give the envelope to somebody or pop it through their door, then the strawberries are a great way of just brightening up the envelope. So I'm literally going to stick some stamp and seal on the back of there. There's still a bit of tackiness on the back here of the actual stalk. Which makes life even easier. Have a spare strawberry for some other use. Let's just try and clear the debris off slightly. There we go. So there's our inside of our card, there's the outside and the envelope. So in my defence, it is quite late in the day. My intention was I was going to have one slightly at an angle there, this one coming this way and that one going that way. When I've actually sat down and the video is finished, I'm thinking there's something wrong here. I've got two going in the same direction and one just coming downwards, which totally offends my my whole OCD outlook on life. So I have, rather than change everything, I'm going to go with them all going in the same direction. But like I always say, I make these mistakes to prevent you from having to do the same thing, but also it does help sometimes to just see how we get round certain problems. So what I've done is I've just got this flat bladed, not at all sharp knife, and I've just got that under the strawberry, and I've just lifted it off of the card, so you can see that I've still got some remnants of the stamping dimensionals on there, but nobody's going to see those. And I've stuck some new ones on the back, and what I'm going to do is stick this roughly the same direction as the other two, so we can't see the damage, but at least the strawberries are all heading in the same direction, which kind of I think looks better than what it did before. And this is why I had excess of strawberries, because I did forget to go back and add the one that was going to put on the inside of the card. So let me just do that. So I'm just putting that flat onto the inside of the card, so that ties in then with the front of the card. So there we go. Let's try again. This is the inside of the card, that's the outside, and that's the envelope. So we got there in the end. So that's just one idea of how we can use this really fun set. So I will put, as I say, all the details of the card on a blog post, and the link to my online shop will be on the front of the video. Everything that I've used is a current product, so you can purchase it if something has caught your eye. Just head over to my shop and you can have a look at it and check it out. So I will be back with something else. I've got no idea at the moment exactly what, but I will be back. Until then, thank you very much for joining me today. If you've enjoyed the video, a thumbs up would be greatly appreciated, and if you'd like to subscribe to my channel, I'd love that as well. So look after yourselves, and I will see you again very soon. Bye for now.